All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast. Now, after 10 weeks in the 2020 NFL season, there is a three-way tie for the top spot in the NFC West. The Arizona Cardinals, Los Angeles Rams, and Seattle Seahawks are all 6-3. Now, the Cards currently get the nod as far as being in the top spot in the division due to the fact that they are 2-0. You go back to week number 1, they went on the road and beat the San Francisco 49ers, and they also have a victory over the Seattle Seahawks. Now, there's going to be several factors that define who's going to win this division. You look at the schedules coming down the stretch. First and foremost, the edge has to go to Seattle. I mean, they host Arizona this Thursday night, but the rest of their slate is relatively easy. At Philadelphia, then in consecutive weeks they host the Giants and Jets, then they're at Washington before they finish up with within the division, first at home versus the Rams, and then on the road versus the 49ers. Then you look at Arizona, of course, they have their matchup on the road this Thursday versus Seattle. After that, they're at New England, they host the Rams, they're at the Giants, they host Philly, then San Fran at home, and then finally they finish up on the road versus the Rams. And then you look at the Rams slate coming down the schedule. At Tampa Bay versus San Francisco, at Arizona versus New England versus the New York Jets, and then they're at Seattle, and then they finish up at home versus Arizona. So first and foremost, schedule nod, you have to give the advantage to Seattle. Why? Because you look at the compiled records of 4 of their final 7 opponents, and it's not good. I mean, 3 games versus teams within the NFC East, and we know what the NFC East is all about this year, or not all about this season. The Seahawks definitely want to get the best of the Cardinals this Thursday night in that rematch, and then they want to take care of their business in the rematch versus the Rams after the Rams knock them off this afternoon, and of course they finish up on the road versus the 49ers. So I look at the edge right there and I give it to Seattle. Toughest slate coming down the stretch, I got to say it's the Rams at Tampa Bay versus San Francisco. And the 49ers are not going to be a pushover, even with all of the injuries that they're currently dealing with. And then the Rams have 2 contests versus the Arizona Cardinals, not to mention a rematch versus Seattle at Seattle. So that's not going to be easy. You look at the quarterback play in this division between these 3 teams has been solid. Russell Wilson is an MVP candidate. You look at how Jared Goff has bounced back, and you look at the maturation process of the youngster in Arizona and Kyler Murray, especially since he was able to bring his team back with just 34 seconds left, and he led them down the field for the game-winning touchdown with a second left when he found Pro Bowl wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. You look at the running games, and I have to give this edge to the Rams. What they do passing wise is predicated off of their ability to run the football, and we saw that again as they were able to hold serve at home today versus the Seahawks. Defenses, I've got to give this edge to the Rams. You look at Seattle, their defense has been porous. I know that they're hopeful that things can change now that Jamal Adams is back in that secondary. However, the Seahawks simply lack a quality pass rush, and that's what you're going to need to get to the quarterback, especially in this division. The Rams have that at all 3 levels right now. We see how Jalen Ramsey is shoring things up on that back end, but of course you have Aaron Donald up front, and you look at the emergence of Leonard Floyd as a pass rusher, as he has now become the pass rusher that the Chicago Bears expected him to be when they drafted him early in the first round several years ago. Coaching, Sean McVay has really got his finger on the pulse of his team. Cliff Kingsbury is still finding his way with the Cardinals. And of course, Pete Carroll is the elder statesman in this division. Now, talent-wise right now, I think the Rams are the most complete team. I think that the Seahawks have the best player in Russell Wilson, while the Cardinals have a lot of upside. However, I have to give the edge to this division champion, to Seattle, just based off of their schedule. And not only based off of their schedule, they still have Russell Wilson at quarterback, and he's going to find a way to will his team to win. You look at it, not only is a division title on the line, obviously you want to avoid having to go on the road, of course, the expanded playoffs this season, but The winner of this division still has a very good shot to get the top spot in the NFC for the postseason, and that means a first-round bye, and then everybody has to come to your building to play. It's a situation where you look at it, obviously the NFC East winner is not going to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, so it's going to come down to the NFC West, the Bucs and Saints coming out of the NFC South, and probably the Green Bay Packers coming out of the NFC North. So you're going to have that opportunity. I still say the San Francisco 49ers have a big say in who wins this division. And if you're Seattle, you have the ability to sit back and look and say, hey, the Cardinals and the Rams still have to play each other 2 times this season. That means a lot right there. So if Seattle's able to go out there and take care of their business versus the teams that they should take care of their business against, they should be sitting pretty come January. Definitely at least one home game. And if they play their cards right, they could have themselves a first round bye heading into January. So folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast. I want to thank all of the subscribers out there. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There is also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. Take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.